Hi, I read all the comments under the private diary videos and know that you've been waiting for a guy's story for a long time. Well, here I am, an ordinary guy from Sweden. My name's Theo. When I was a child, my mom left me on a hospital porch. I never saw my biological parents after that, but by the time I turned 3, I had a new family. My adoptive parents were wonderful. They owned a farm at the foot of the mountains. The view from my new room was mind-blowing. One day, I climbed up into the attic and found an old camera there. Ever since then, there was no stopping me. Say cheese! I took pictures of everything, and especially loved photographing the mountains. Go away! You smell like sheep! Well, your hair looks like sheep wool. That's Ingrid. She was our neighbor, which was the worst thing ever. Theo, take our fresh cheese to our neighbors. Why me? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey! Have you made a new friend? For your information, I'm going to be a famous dancer. You're no more a dancer than one of our sheep. And you're no more a photographer than a seagull. If Ingrid were a guy, I would have beaten her up ages ago. Anyway, she was wrong. The pictures I made were actually pretty great. I roamed the mountains, took photos of the lakes and our farm, and posted them on social media. Then came my 16th birthday. Mom, come on, I'm not a kid anymore. Surprise! I hope you like it. Are you kidding? This is the best gift ever! It was the best day of my life until Ingrid and her parents came over. What is she doing here? Theo, don't be rude. We invited them. It's not like I wanted to come. Feel free to leave then. Theo, mind your manners. Apologize to Ingrid right now. No way! It's my birthday and she's ruining it. I said apologize. I ended up fighting with my parents. I couldn't believe they took Ingrid's side. She was smirking while I was being scolded, and it was terribly annoying. The next day, I was supposed to go camping with my parents. You're staying at home as punishment for yesterday. What? Because of her? Think about your behavior. Ingrid is a good girl. You should have been nicer to her. A good girl? She's a monster in a skirt. Mom and Dad didn't listen to me and left without another word. It was so unfair. I was shaking with rage. Fine, go then. I'll be better off alone. They didn't come home in the evening. Are they staying overnight in the mountains? They didn't show up the next morning either. My stomach was in knots. In the afternoon, Ingrid's father came to me. I'm sorry, Theo. There was a landslide in the mountains last night. Your parents died. I was frozen with shock. That news left me numb. I'll be better off alone! Those were the last words they heard from me. It hurt so much, I didn't know what to do with myself. Time seemed to blur. By the time I started to pay attention to the world around me again, I was in an orphanage. I missed our farm and couldn't stand the bustling metropolis. But bit by bit, I started to get used to my new life, and even made some friends. One day, I was called to the director's office. Theo, this is Mr. and Mrs. Larson. The way those strangers were looking at me made me uneasy. His face is just right. Yes, he will do. Are you sure, dear? Absolutely. After they left, the director told me incredible news. You're incredibly lucky, Theo. Those two are millionaires, and they want to adopt you. Are you joking? It was mostly the young kids that found new families. Few people wanted to adopt teenagers. I'm quite serious. I'll get started on the paperwork. Of course, if you agree. I hesitated. It felt like by agreeing, I would betray my parents. Don't be stupid. A chance like this comes once in a lifetime. In a few days, the Larsons were supposed to come and take me to my new home. I was nervously peering into the distance when the time came. What kind of car would they come in? How would they treat me? A sharp gust of wind suddenly hit me in the face. What the heck? Leave your things here. You won't need them anymore. I was so shocked I didn't even try to resist and only took the camera out of my suitcase. It was my first time flying. I'd love to say I was enjoying the spectacular view, but I was too focused on trying to keep my breakfast down. When we landed, I was shocked speechless. The Larsons' house looked like a castle. They led me to the far wing and immediately introduced me to a stylist. You need to cut and dye your hair. Why? You're asking too many questions. I'd never cared much about my own appearance, so I didn't argue. But when I saw the result, did you mix up the dye? I look like a frog. It's a mint shade, and that's how your hair should always look from now on. I did not argue simply because I had no words. After turning into a frog prince, I was given a list of rules. Under no circumstances are you allowed to watch TV, use the internet, raise your voice, or go down to the basement. Here's your schedule. Fitness, public speaking, cooking, karaoke. Some of these things they wanted me to do were more or less normal, but some seemed weird. By the way, give me your phone. We'll give you a new one. They gave me a small room and a new wardrobe. My first classes were held that same day. I came to the gym and worked out with a personal trainer. Come on, you've got this. Next, they brought me to the kitchen and a French chef taught me how to make desserts. Do you want me to make a cupcake? Not a cupcake, but a canouille. Oui. I tried to copy everything the culinary guru did, but cooking was clearly not my thing. Oh, let's try again. I practiced diction, singing, and even archery. It all seemed completely pointless to me. Why would I ever need to know all this? You'll find out when the time comes. After hundreds of ruined cupcakes, dropped barbells, false notes, and arrows flying wide of the target, I finally got it. Parfait! Soon, the maids brought me to the central part of the house. Wow, I can't believe they live like this. Feels like someone's about to ask me to pay for an entrance ticket. You're ready. Ready for what? At that moment, I heard a noise outside the door. Was a herd of elephants running towards us? But it turned out those are just girls. What the? These are your sisters. Emma is the eldest. Hi. The twins are Froya and Freya. Hi there. Hi there. Then there's Olivia, and our youngest, wait, where's Cora? She's taking a nap again. I stared at the girls in shock. Even if I didn't take our blue hair into account, they looked a lot like me. The eldest girl looked like a female version of me. What the heck was going on? Sorry, I overslept. Well, you should get to know each other. After our adoptive parents left, things went downhill. Your hair's so pretty. Wow, you're ripped. What perfume do you use? I love it. Our brother is perfect. My sisters dragged me into the kitchen and asked me to make some canouilles for them. The things I learned from the chef came in handy. Oh, lucky us. Their adoration made me nervous. Huh? Careful, little brother. Delicious. Brother, you're an awesome cook. When I went to the gym to work out, my sisters followed me. As I was lifting the barbell, I felt them watching me. Why were those wackos following me around? I mean, they were ordinary girls, but something about them was wrong. Okay, I've had enough. What's going on here? Sorry, for a second there it sounded like you were unhappy. You thought right. I don't get it. What is with you? It seems like you haven't learned the rules yet, brother. You can't raise your voice. You should follow the rules, or you'll end up like Bert. Who's Bert? That's enough sports for today. Our brother needs to rest. I was told to move to another room. It was even cooler than my previous one. There was even a separate dressing room attached to it. Can you imagine? Still, I felt like a mouse trapped in a mousetrap with a huge piece of cheese. The next morning, the maids brought me breakfast in bed. I've been asked to give you this. Of course, my new phone was cool, but what was the point of having it? I wasn't allowed to use the internet. My new parents' and sisters' numbers were in my contacts, but I couldn't add any new ones. This makes no sense. I went for a walk in the yard to get my mind off things. I stopped when I saw Cora. Of all my sisters, she seemed the most normal one. Oh, you scared me. To be honest, I don't feel comfortable when I'm in the house either. I feel sorry for you. Sorry? Why? I can't talk about that. At least tell me why I was adopted. Our parents always wanted a son, but only had girls. They gave up trying for a new baby. But Emma and the other girls still wanted a brother. A perfect one, you know? Not really. Our family is loaded. We can afford whatever we want. When my sisters asked for a brother, our parents gave you to them. What do you mean, gave? I'm a person. It doesn't matter. Mom and Dad went to a ton of orphanages before they found someone who looked like us. I was so shocked, I just stared at Cora without a clue what to say. Was I just a toy for rich girls? Listen, do you... I had another class scheduled that day, but I was tired of dumb lessons and decided to go for a walk and take some photos instead. You can't leave. What do you mean? Move, you moron. Only after Mr. and Mrs. Larson give you their permission. Were they freaking kidding me? What's wrong? Apparently, I'm not allowed to go out without permission. Do you think I'm your lapdog? You can walk when you feel like it? You're raising your voice again, brother. Screaming makes our heads hurt. If you really want to go for a walk, just go shopping with us. Thanks, but I don't like shopping. It wasn't a request, brother. Arguing with those psychos was pointless, and I ended up agreeing. My sisters looked like little devils dragging me into hell. What do you think about this dress? It's just like the previous one.
These jeans fit me perfectly. Me too.
I was exhausted by the time we left the mall. The next second, we were surrounded by guards. It seemed like they were trying to keep some people away from us. What's going on?
Get in the car, hurry.
What was that?
Our family has a lot of enemies. We need to be careful. Don't worry, our bodyguards are always around.
Unfortunately, that wasn't what I was worried about. For the next week, I felt like a circus monkey.
Theo, where are your manners? Brother, I'll feed you. Help!
Hold on!
What a perfect little brother. I knew you'd help me.
Were you pretending? One day, my sisters brought me to a party at the most expensive place in town. I felt out of place. They wanted me to sing karaoke, but I thought it was too embarrassing. What am I even doing here?
If you don't want to sing, let's go dance.
Thanks, I don't want to.
I said, let's go.
At that moment, all I wanted to do was get out of there. But then, someone on the stage started to dance. I didn't pay much attention to the dancer first, but then I recognized Ingrid. No way. Had she really become a dancer? As I looked at Ingrid, I couldn't understand why I ever thought she was ugly. She didn't look like a sheep at all. Our eyes met. After her dance came to an end, Ingrid came up to me.
Theo, what are you doing here?
I'm here with my new family.
New family? Don't you know that? There you are. Let's go.
Leave me alone. Don't argue with me, brother. As we drove home, I thought about my parents and the way things used to be before they died. I would have given anything to go back to that time. I would have even stopped trolling Ingrid. When the car stopped, I wanted to get out, but the guards wouldn't let me. What's going on? I peered out the window, but only saw the guards blocking my view.
Are the Larsons enemies here?
Things kept getting weirder by the day, and I decided it was time to act. That night, I left my room and made my way to the basement that I wasn't supposed to go to. There, among junk, I found a cardboard box full of boys' things. What is all of this? Our perfect brother, Bert. I remembered hearing that name from my sisters. Had they already had a brother? What happened to him? I started when I heard someone come down the stairs. I didn't have time to hide.
So you found Bert's stuff. What is the meaning of this?
You're raising your voice again.
When brothers disobey, they should be punished.
Let me out! Anybody! They locked me in my room. I was beside myself with anger. The only people who visited me were the maids.
Your breakfast.
Tell Mr. and Mrs. Larson I want to talk to them.
What did you want to talk about?
Let me go! I don't want to stay here anymore. You should be grateful to us for this chance.
The girls have grown attached to you. You are our son now, and you will do whatever we say.
I wanted to go back to the orphanage rather than stay with that crazy family. I even tried to escape through the window, but it was too high. One night, the door to my room slowly opened. Who's there?
Shh! I'll help you escape. Let's go.
Cora was one of the Larsons, and I wasn't sure I could trust her, but I decided to take the risk anyway.
I'll distract the guards, and you go out. Hey, wake up! Stay here and wait for my signal.
It seemed luck finally smiled down at me that night. Cora caught up to me outside.
This way.
When we got into the car, I saw Ingrid behind the wheel. You?
Cora came up to me at that party and told me everything. We've teamed up to help you.
Ingrid brought us to a rented apartment. I couldn't believe she helped me. Thank you for your help. I know we never got along, but
that doesn't matter anymore. Theo, there's something you should know. Your parents didn't die.
What?
It's true. They hid in a cave during the landslide. The exit was blocked. They had enough food for a month, and there was also a water source in the cave. They were recently found and brought to a hospital. They found out a new family had adopted you and tried to get you back.
Was that who the guards chased away?
Yes, that's why you weren't allowed to use the internet or watch TV. You could have seen your parents on the news.
I need to go back to my family.
My parents paid a lot of money to adopt you. The law is on their side now. We need to act smart.
Cora, could you tell me about Bert? Am I not your first brother?
That's right. My parents adopted Bert before you, but my sisters pushed him too far and the poor guy had a nervous breakdown. He's been in a clinic ever since.
Even though that was terrible, it gave me an idea. The next day, Ingrid and Cora helped me get to the clinic Bert was in. He told me his story and I recorded him on camera. Then I made a video about myself and even convinced Cora to take part in it.
My family had always been abnormal. Cora? My bad.
I edited the video and sent it to several journalists. Soon, the Larsons got into big trouble. They didn't have time to care about me anymore.
Theo! Our dear son. I'm so sorry for everything. You guys are the best parents in the world.
Things worked out then?
Legally, I have nothing to do with the Larsons anymore. Bert went back to the orphanage. He's doing much better now. By the way, my blog has 10,000 followers now. Can you believe it?
Oh, just shut up and kiss me already.
What?
Come on, Theo, don't be stupid. Are you scared?
Of course not. I put my arm around Ingrid's waist and pulled her closer. She was an amazing girl, and I was a fool who should have realized it sooner. One morning, I came out into the backyard and saw someone sleeping on our bench. Cora?
Can I stay with you?
After Cora helped me, the Larsons didn't want to have anything to do with her anymore. She stayed on our farm and became my sister.